No, no. I think, what we're talking about, though, is this
What you said?
you know,
No, I found that out today, actually. I've got like, yeah, I've got humidity going on all day.
So we'll do multiple posts today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit first, but try to keep it to a little different, get-ups you can have.
Okay.
So we'll work it out. I'm thinking lie down, sit over there, kind of moving around.
Okay, cool. I brought cameras with me, so we'll see if we can work it out.
Of course we can. Of course we can.
Oh, yes. But of course.
But of course. Of course.
We see you always.
One step at a time, my friends, really. I mean, it's really, it seems like it's just, I mean, again, how do you reach the people that are not in conversation? That's the question. I mean, we talk about that in academia all the time. We sit there all these meetings with the same people that are showing up all the time and say, well, how do you reach the people who are showing up? Where do you even begin? And that's really the issue here. It's like, how do you, I don't know, but it's something that, but try not to let it affect you, because you deserve your life the way you want it. You shouldn't let people really have that kind of sway over you. Committee said walk around with keys. Remember, really seriously. No, but it's amazing because you just can kind of go like that and see if you can knock it out a little bit. So, and your throat, but it's hard to do. No, but it's quickly too. If you get right here, carves right here, then you could and which one starts. So if you go like this and you don't go straight, you go to the side road and go on. No, you just go, because it'll go. But see, here's the disadvantage, look at my hand, it takes a real. It's funny, you're gonna make this. I know. All right, bye. Hello again. Hey, how's it going, Claire? Did you have a good break? Good, good. I'm so glad to have warm weather again. Just can't believe it. It's like such a you know comfort. It's like you wouldn't think it was such a big deal. Like to look at this whole week and see it in the 60s is just like wow, excellent. Kind of perfect. So did you guys get away at all? Did you have anything, do anything fun during our slight spring breaky thing? No. No. I guess that wasn't the idea, right? That was the idea of not giving you a full week. I know some people still did. Hey, Vanessa, how's it going? Good. We were just talking about how nice it is to have a shift in the weather. I know. So it's not have to just brace yourself every time you kind of do it. To be out of doors is really a relief. You're looking very springy behind you with your plants and the sunlight coming in. It's good. And Anna too. Hmm? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's true. Yeah, so we're going to be going right into our longer post today, which will be fun. Give folks just a little time to jump on here. Oh, hi, Abby, how are you feeling? Right, right. Oh, well, that's good to hear. That's great. So your mother's feeling better? Definitely gonna do that. Definitely. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Great. Thanks, Ed. Um, yeah, let's see. I think Tara should be here. Tara's this Grace. Where did I keep Tara? Hey, Grace.
Hey, Doug, how's it going?
Good. How's it going with you?
It's good, thanks.
Yeah, so this you can see from the YouTube, there's a little different setup now, and the model's going to be taking several positions there, and so I think from like what I said on the canvas, I want you to think today is a day of figuring out kind of the direction you want to go with this thing. And I think one of the things that's going to be a little unsettling is having a number of the poses presented at different times versus just two. We now have, we could do even 4 different poses versus just having 3, but we might end up doing 3. But as I also said before break, I want to have one of the poses be more fluid, that the model will come into that on a regular basis. So we might even do that with more of the poses too. We'll see how that works. Have the model set a sequence kind of in and out of the poses. So how do you think we really will deal with this? How we've been stressing this idea of how you deal with these multiple figures with a set scenario, stage set in a way, like we have. What is the solution that we come up with to make that work? What do you think, Vanessa? Because you had a different solution last time, didn't you? Which was kind of interesting. Yes, yes. Did you end up putting them together? Yeah, yeah. So if I can unpack that a little bit, you're saying that because of the drapery and some of the lighting, you were able to make things read in a similar scenario. So I think that's really good. And so the thing we can add on to that is color. You can do that because we've been going over that. It can be scale, so our proximity. So like for instance, when one thing's in front of the other, like I have my fingers now, that can make something look like it's connected. It doesn't have to be a figure, it can be parts of it. And so the fact that we're setting up sort of a living room thing, like with that space over there, you know, it's going to naturally occur now, this idea of that overlap. It'll naturally build upon that. And then lastly, probably the most obvious thing is this idea that you're going to be using the objects themselves. So since those are the things that are going to be consistent, for instance, the chair, the couch, as you said, Vanessa, the fabrics, those are going to be things that we then can use to interrelate with the model as it's set up there. Now, that's if you're working strictly observationally. What if you're not? What if you're coming from another point of view? What would one of those points be, Claire? What would be another way of looking at it? Which I'll stress more next week. I'll introduce. I just didn't want to start off with that because I thought it would be a little unsettling. But
I think if you're working from observation, then right, you're trying to work from like imagination, right?
But what is our imagination? What does that mean? Like we use that, right? But what does that really mean?
You're trying to, you're not kind of only what you're looking at with your eyes and trying, you know, they're thinking about the figures and the forms either in a different way, like stylistically from just observation, but also in putting them in a different environment.
Yes.
Like, I think there are a lot of things you can change.
And what would be the
Observation is a very limiting kind of.
right? So what would be the advantage to that? It'd be not having to have as many limitations, right? That's what you just stated. But then what's another advantage to that? If you're working from imagination or maybe changing some of the scenario or even the idea of where the context of the model's in. What could that be? What's the genesis of that? And I'm going to go to my presentation in a second. I'm going to reinforce that a little bit. But what do you think that is?
Well, I guess you also have like a lot of freedom, like thematically and narratively, right?
Yes.
I don't know if that's what you're going for, but
No, it is. It is. It is.
how you really are, I think, as much as you kind of do with like, you have figures and basically drapery and they're, just there. You can also like try and put an environment and present your figures in a way that they can actually like telling like their story.
That's the key. That's what I wanted to say. That's exactly it. You're telling your story. That's what this becomes. So isn't that an offshoot of narrative, right? But it's also this idea that you crystallizing it based on a story you want to tell or something that's going to go beyond that. So with this larger composition we're going to be doing, and this is a lot about composition, it's like how are you putting these forms together through light, through color, through texture, through scale, relationships, hierarchy of objects to tell your story, right? So that's going to be it. So excellent. Thank you for doing that. That's good. So let me go to screen share then, and I will go through some of these images, and we'll talk about them in that way. Where do we go? Okay, so let's see. So this one to start off with, this is Mikkel Thurin. This is a painting that's in the show I curated at Gross McLeod. And it was also used for the card of it. And this is a graduate of Papa, and this is self-portrait. And if you look at this closely, first of all, there's a lot of exaggerated color. There's a lot of exaggerated paint stroke, but there's also collage in there, and then a police car. So what do you think this could be narratively? What do you think? Self-portrait, right? Looking straight at, kind of from the side.
Like a story, like, cause I kind of, you said that before, I have a story of a female or herself or, what exactly, but
What do you think the police cars are doing?
I guess everything that happened, like, what's currently happening that happened like last summer.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a direct response to the Black Lives Matter protests, and the blood is from a encounter. That's not color, that's blood. And so that's pretty literal, isn't it? But it's done in this way that kind of invites all these other possibilities in there, which I find extremely compelling. And really, the police car is so small and out of place that way that you don't really think of that unless it's pointed out. And then it starts developing from there. And since we've seen a lot of expressionist paintings with bright yellows and reds and like that, you don't really look at it and go, wow, that's bloodied face. But then once I'm saying it, then, oh, of course that's what it is, right? And that I find very compelling that way. So Dorothy Eisner did this painting, which is kind of coming out of a Bay Area figurative art, this Richard Diebenkorn, which Dead Park, which is Joan Brown, all that kind of idea of this piece. So what's the story here? You don't really know, do you? Because the story is more about this observation of it's an artist that's sitting, and you know that because of the William Kindbrush second in there. But it's kind of an artist depicting another artist, kind of as a little bit of an homage. But what I like about it, that transcends just that, is it's mostly about these colors that are used in there, the vividness of those yellows and the purples and the blues, and then how in the background, which would normally be more vivid, looking out a doorway like that, would be brighter. It's actually just the opposite. So it's kind of throwing us into this idea. And so it's kind of getting this point of reference of color acting as color, which then becomes expressionistic. So compositionally, the way this is off-center, this is framed, so it's framed within a frame. And then you've got this overlapping of the arms and the spreading out of the legs, which opens up this negative space. That becomes your compositional devices. But most importantly, it's this large subject is overlapping the other large subject. So the artist then creates this hierarchy. Also, by not having a face on there, becomes anonymous, which then can be sort of every person as it goes, which is another story as it builds. Peter Palin has a lot of these paintings. He's a Philadelphia artist, works in multimedia, and this is watercolor, both opaque and transparent, with these very invented scenes with creatures inhabiting the world, all kinds of things around. But I'd like to show this because this is an artist that's working from models posing like this, whether they're in front of him at the time or not. But then adding in these other points in here that change its perspective and its idea right from the start. It's built on that. So compositionally, by having these in the forefront, it becomes sort of like portraits. But then the storyline behind it of the big kind of opening of the cage with the creature, and oops, I keep doing that, sorry. And the very vivid blue down here, which anchors it. And then, of course, this monkey that's encountering us becomes then this weird scenario, which is more dreamlike and less specific about, a reality that we see. Also, I like to look at this as far as color usage, different textures from the patterns here with the checks versus the stripes, the hair, the way this can become embellished. And this artist likes to draw on his roots of being Italian, and likes to have these these kind of styles that represent that in a way. So I think this can be a very inventive idea. Elizabeth Catlett, who just passed away in 2012, has worked with a variety of different mediums as well, mostly known for woodblock prints, but the artistic paintings and sculptures as well. This is another thing, by having this compression like this, where you have the main subject and then the support sphere with this joined in hands, it becomes very symbolic. So that's another way of being inventive, that it's less about what is directly there, but becomes symbolic of that. So these faces are very specific to what the artist wants, but everything else, both from the patterns going completely flat to the hands that are even uneven and irregular and in the wrong position than what they'd be in if you were in a classroom with that, it still kind of reads that way. So it's a portrait that becomes more than that, and then of course you get this decorative element there that balances out with that, and then of course like with Peter's piece of blue behind it, this gold right here helps then join the piece together in this connectivity that works off of it. So this could be dealt with as a singular depiction, but then these supporters become just that, and that you could work on. Sterling Shaw, who's also in the show and curator, works with these models as deities and putting them in these weird scenarios, and this one's a completely invented space, literally space. So with the stars and everything, so the figures are kind of floating out in the deities and stuff, and then having this weird light coming from behind, which is again in there, and then having these patterns and florals as they go. So what he's done is he's created these model scenarios into, again, a very personal subject as it goes on there. And it's academic in the sense of accuracy and proportion, but it's very inventive and beyond like these other artists have shown, because of the flowers being put there and the space as it goes in and transforms. The last one I'm showing you is Thomas Dewey, and this one is a tour de force of multiple figures. And this is coming out of ideals again, so it's related in a lot of ways to Sterling's, but it becomes like this. I couldn't help put that in. I apologize. It's definitely representing spring and this kind of celebration of the oncoming of the seasons and the greenery and then these turned forms. So you got the connection of the garland, but then the way that the figures are turned, like facing this way, facing that way, the outstretched arms, larger space, smaller space, this running off the musical instrument but not being played. It becomes like this allusion to that versus a very literal point of it. And these models are actually the same model, much of like what we're doing now. It just starts to go into a difference because of the clothing change, the hairdress being different, and the scenario as it goes. So it comes out of classical motifs. The Three Graces were started back in the Greek times, and then they were copied over generational times. They actually started as sculptures, and then they became like these symbolic references to celebratory and transformative experiences as it goes. So can anybody say anything about this piece in particular that might not be said by me? What do you think? What's the first impression of something like this? What do you think, Vanessa? What's your first impression?
To be honest, I was looking at something my phone. I got distracted, so I forgot the end of your what you were saying. But honestly, I love this. My first impression, this was like magical, kind of feeling.
Yes.
I want to know what's going on if you're all right.
Yes.
They're not joined by
The garland, yeah. And they're also got the instrument, but they're not playing yet. Yeah, so there becomes this proposition towards an event happening, but you're not seeing it. It's almost like the preparation for it. So personally, I like that when we set up a pose of multiple figures like that. I don't like it to be a finished concept. I want it to be open-ended. So what Claire was talking about with this idea of imagination and the idea that this kind of thing can start to come through can really happen. So good commentary. So this is actually working according to pretty strict examples of your foreground, the figures existing in the shallow space, and then there's some morphic back, which is not unlike Sterling's with that very unclear starlit environment. So by changing this, like this artist did, because these models are posing inside, it becomes again something different than the original intent, but the glue of it is from this idea of the graces from history that then can be transported that way, because that's the ideal this artist worked with. But you wouldn't work with something like that until you start to think about it. So that's why we're trying to present that as it goes. Now, is there a hierarchy represented in these figures? As in, is one more important than the other? No. They're just completely in a band here like this. So you might say, well, this one's turned way more, so it's less important, or this one's got more of the facial features, so it's more important. This one has instrument. No, each one of them has an attribute. This actually has more light on it. This one has a whole different coloration. This one has more of the facial features with instruments. So each one of them has its weight, so it's going to do that. So I want you to think about that too. But the other thing that's probably most important here is these figures are not cropped. They're not cropped. And so when you look back, not cropped. Very cropped, which makes it a little bit flatter and more confrontational. Very cropped, flatter, more upfront. There isn't anything in here that isn't cropped except for the monkey. Cropped at the bottom, cropped at the top. The figures kind of basically here, very cropped. So all these things start to represent things as it goes in, just on that sense, which is another compositional decision. Okay? So any questions or thoughts before we go on to the pose now? Grace, are you going to start off with this at all, or are you going to continue in your still life, or where are we going with Okay, so when we get started, then let's talk that over and see where you stand with that. Tali, did you have something you were going to say, or did you just want to say, stop talking and let's get started?
So, I was wondering if I could, leave the Zoom and then come back and come
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that'd be good. Yep. Yep. It's 1:30 now. Why don't you check in at 3? Okay? All right, sounds good. All right, Kate, where are you? Good, how are you? Welcome back. Okay, good. Sounds good. Yeah, because I think it'd be interesting, your scale and some of the imagination would be interesting to push that a little bit more and see where that's going to go. All right, Anna, where are you? Good. All right. And I think we're good. Okay, good. So let me get started then, and we'll start to flush it out. Oh, you're on there too. So what are you going to do? How are you? I'm the master. I'm not Zorro. Can't see facial features. The theme is going to be multiple figures, and I want you to explore what we've been exploring up till now, which encompasses texture, color, light, and then with the figure, it's going to be multiple figures. So how do you interrelate them either on the setup as we see it, or from an extrapolation from it, as in what I showed you just now in the presentation? Like how you can take figures that started from observation and became more personal by using your own scenario behind it, either by Sterling, where you have that sky-like thing with the stars, or whether you have Elizabeth Catlix, where it's patterns that are all related around it too. All right, so that's where we're going to go with it. But the key is going to be multiple figures and lots of time. So we're going to essentially work on this from now to the end of the semester, which is 6 weeks. And so today it was going to be a little bit of flushing out of it, see where it goes. Sound good? Okay, so I'm going to get started on that. And we'll talk to Cindy's still here. I'll bring this over so you can see what we're doing too from both scenarios. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I think I want to push this couch over a little bit.
Okay.
I'll see you. Here, I don't want you to completely cover over yourself.
Okay.
I've got the little bit of a harder cushion on there, and then I've got the pillow. So I'm thinking you do a lounge kind of from the side, kind of thing for that. So why don't we just, don't worry about clothing or anything right now. Let's just figure out a couple different poses. And then we can go in and do that. So I'm thinking 3 for now. So I'm thinking 3 guys now, but then we can add on more as we go. We can add on a 4th. But essentially what one will be is, every other one. And then the other one will be a little more static periodically.
Okay.
Yeah, you can feel that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So you're not completely lost in it. And I'm going to look at my screen here so I can see what's showing up. Okay, that's looking good. And I'm going to move this just a little bit back so we can get more in. There we go. It's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very bouncy.
So come a little closer to the edge. Yeah, there you go. And lean toward us more. And you can use that pillow behind you to get that.
Oh.
You have one, kind of at your shoulders. You can both set up more. Or we can even do more fabric or whatever. There's a bunch of it there. Not just yours, but there's other fabric here. I'll fold a couple of these, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, can you have a leg like that off without going to sleep?
Like this?
Mm-hmm.
This is comfortable.
Okay, and I don't want to lose your other hand, so can you move that somewhere? Yeah. Let's see. The only thing I don't like is that leg that's under your knee.
Okay.
See what else you can do. No, that looks like an amputation.
Oh no.
That's better. That was better. No. Yeah, maybe what you have to do is scoot down more so you don't have to.
Okay.
It seems like you're stretching too much. Okay, now come out a little bit more. Yeah. That leg's getting lost. You got no one underneath.
Okay.
So maybe you put both of them on, like as in you're curling to the side. Yeah.
Both up?
Yeah, try that.
But they don't look like nubs.
Yeah, your upper part looks good, but it still looks weirdly cropped. Yeah. That's better. Wait a minute. You had something there. Go back again. Yeah. That's better. Okay, good with the arm down. Okay, good. Okay. All right. So that's one. That's going to be one pose. And let me take a photo of that so we have it. I got to have all my devices going here today. All kinds of devices. Wow, color, everything's great on that. Whoa, that's awesome. Okay, so you're fitting in the whole thing, so I didn't even remember that, but let me get a little tape your arm is coming down so you can create that.
Okay.
That's probably one of the things that's most visible. Does it feel hard?
Yeah, this is good.
Good. All right, now, without worrying about getting into a different outfit, let's go to the other one now.
Okay.
And there's going to be twofold. One would be you sitting in the chair, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And the other one is going to be you standing back there, which will be less present because you'll be standing, of course.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, that's interesting kind of S curve you got going there. Huh. Try keeping your upper body the same way and just do something different with your legs.
Okay.
No, too much. Wow, you look so big there in the screen. You're taking up like 1/3 of the screen. It's interesting. Huh.
Did you want me to sit further back in the chair, possibly?
No, because you're fitting really nice in the screen. Okay, good. That's gonna be the second one. Darn it, the front end is tape.
Yeah, right?
Back to the way it was.
People just take your furniture. I remember Al used to put up signs constantly about that.
Hopeless signs. Hopeless signs. All right, now the last pose. Third one is gonna be over there, but I want you to be smaller, so that's why when you're looking on the screen.
You also want to take a picture.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. You're right. You're absolutely right. See how well you can remember it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, good. And then now the last one, you're gonna look smaller over there. So go as far back as you can. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it's not. You're still within the frame. And could you pull your arms up like that, or would that be too hard? If it wasn't that much?
Oh, this would be fine. Not both of them, like whatever.
Wonder if you try that and then try the other. That could work, but let's see if you turned around, like you're walking away.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, that's nice. So let me think. That's coming forward. That's going this side. That's going back. Yep, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna take over for this. Okay, guys, that's the third one. I like your overlapping, being overlapped by the lamp. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, you weren't joking when you said movement.
Yeah, seriously. We're all about movement today.
That's great.
All right, great. All right, so this is going to start with the lying down pose. All right, so that's the three of them. And I'll send those images out to you right now. And then I want you to start with this proposition of what you're going to do with them, or start doing studies of them individually, you then can bring together. What you should be gaining by this is an idea of what you want to say with these figures, what you want to say overall with it, where there's a hierarchy, as in which one will be larger and how that works with the whole. Okay? So that's going to be our movement today.
Alright, and did you want me to put any particular fabric on at each station, or?
Grace, hold on one second.
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did you want me to put on any particular fabric at each station?
Yeah, I do. And so what you can do is keep the way you are now,
Okay.
and then we'll figure it out for the other.
Okay, sure.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Grace, go ahead. No, let me talk to you first. Let me figure out what's going on, and then you can come back. All right? Does that sound good? Like, what are you thinking of doing? Where are you going with this? Because you have that still life, and so what's the other thing you're working on?
So it's this drawing. Well, it's like partly in my
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to do a painting of this,
Mhm.
or like I might have more. I just want to start painting of it, like of the same idea, kind of.
So how are you going to take the drawing and turn it into a painting? Are you going to transfer it, or are you going to use that as a reference?
I think I would just use that as reference.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't want to transfer it.
So the one figure is kind of growing from the other one, and you've got this this overall look that we're looking down on, but the other figures, the multiples, are looking back up at us, but the other one isn't. So it's kind of interesting that one. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like it to the side, but yeah, it could be. It could be either way. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I would recognize it like in the different directions.
Sure. Yeah, so it kind of goes with that. It's also pretty compelling having that outstretched arm against the mirror, and then just that with the mirror image. That's kind of cool too. Yeah, very powerful. Have you looked at Sidney Goodman's work at all?
Oh, I have, but it's better.
Yeah, you might want to look him back up, because this is kind of getting into some of his territory. Pretty interesting, especially in the drawing aspect of it. I like that. And the other thing compositionally that I would be a little mindful is that you kind of set the figures all up on the same trajectory. In this case, vertical, or in another case, horizontal, so they're not breaking that cylindrical shape. So that might be something to think about, especially since you've got the multiple arms and different things coming out there that one could break away from that.
Yeah, I think I want them all to remain in like a kind of color bow, but I could definitely play with the variation in how they kind of, like you said, like the lips come out or wrap around or something.
Yeah.
Within that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, and then of course what you do that's surrounded, because you've got that nice contrast between the mirror frame and that darkened, we'll call the floor for now, and then the pattern on the other part. So you might need a little variation as you get up to that upper part of the drawing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so because everything sort of stops up there. Yeah, because I think that's probably why. Like, you've done this, I'm sure. But just close one eye, and just, or as you zoomed in, like looking at that lower part, it's so resolved, it's so developed. And in a way, that upper. Oh, so wait a minute. I should be clear with this, Cindy Goodman. I'm sorry because I just said, and sometimes I just think, oh yeah, of course you know what I'm talking about. So sorry about that. I meant his early work. So if you look at the work from the 1960s, that's what I'm talking about. Because he got much more academic as progressed, he kind of went backwards. Most people start off academic and get more inventive. He did the exact opposite. And so those things were much more related to dreams and figures kind of developing out from one. And there was this one that was like an offshoot from an accent that he had, which was trajectory kind of like this, where the figures are kind of coming out from it. So 60s, like 62, 63, 64, that here. All right, so cool. Sounds good. I like it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good. All right, so I'll see you through. So Kate, what are you going to do? Are you going to do some drawing to get this started, or are you doing like launch into smaller painting and see if you want to stay with that smaller or go into something bigger? Are you feeling okay with this like multiple figures we've seen at different times?
Yeah, me.
Mm-hmm. Kate.
I really like this. I'm excited about it. I want to do it. I think it'll be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I think that would be fun for you. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm really excited that this looks really awesome.
Good. Yeah, and you can let them have a hierarchy, like I was talking about. They don't have to go, or you can think of them a little bit like that doing, where there could be like inequality in there of measure. But that might mean, oh, gee, maybe I want a little more horizontal, or or even extend it even further, like off of the screen or something. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. All right, guys. I'll just let you get going, and then we'll check in a few minutes. You still feeling okay?
Yeah.
Nothing's kind of settled in, but not in a good way.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay, good. I know I hate when you start something and they go, yeah, it's doing great, and then all of a sudden it starts to give you so much pain.
Yeah, that usually happens when you fold your legs up under yourself. Or
Oh yeah, like something goes numb. Yeah, exactly.
over the head, which is the arms under the head, because they usually do that. So I'm going this week to the gallery.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's last week.
Yeah, I'll actually have time.
Oh, I'm glad.
And then I'll be bringing my friend with me too.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I talked them into taking that day off.
Yeah, make sure you interact with them there too and talk to them. They're pretty cool people.
Okay.
And say that you know me and everything. So it's Morgan and Rebecca.
Morgan and Rebecca. Okay. And they're graduates from.
Yeah, both of them are graduates.
That's wonderful.
And if there's an older person there, she's the former owner, and her name is Sharon.
Okay.
I don't remember if she's come back this week or not. She might be. But they're all very, and it's really fun to get some, just some interactive things going. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what you think.
Yeah, I'm interested to see art in person again.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I mean, that is really the best thing about it, is just seeing art.
Yeah, getting to stand in front of the pieces.
Ah, it's just amazing.
It's so different than seeing things over the web, you
Yeah.
know.
And what you want to think about as you're going through is the two titles, um, looking from the outside in and the inside out,
Right.
and seeing how the pieces are woven together through that.
Yeah, I think I've heard a student say that they really like your pieces of, it was like seascapes.
Yeah, yeah, rocks. I do these, because that's the, we're on land looking to water. So we're from this side looking in. You know, it's kind of interesting, like two worlds that we exist in, but we don't.
Right, right. So we're sort of we're outside of that. And
Yes. Isn't
that's
that
a whole
cool?
other inside.
Yeah, so it's like your rocky shoreline, but it goes in metaphorically to something else. You know?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's also this idea that you're taking like your typical, picturesque view like that and transforming it by an idea. How about that?
That's pretty wonderful.
Oh my God, there's ideas out there.
Well, also to look at a nature
Yeah.
space and think about it in totally different terms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it can be used the same way as like figures or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard people liken landscapes to figure painting
Uh-huh.
and say that they connect. And I could definitely see that on the postcard you have
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
one of your pieces. I could definitely see that there.
But it's kind of sad to think about it ending this week. It's always it's a little bittersweet, you know.
Yeah, it seemed to go so fast.
I know. But it's fun, and there's been some really great conversations started from it, and there's been great response. So that's always so nice. The gallery's really pumped
Mhm.
because this is really just their third show.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So
Since they reopened.
yeah, so they're pretty psyched.
Yeah, you kind of gave the gallery a nice new breath of life.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're hoping, right? You know, like have it, but repurpose it in a sense. You know, the ultimate recycling. Yeah, you'll be surprised to see the gallery how fresh it looks with new lighting.
Oh, they redid everything.
Well, not everything, but they redid the lighting and they redid all the walls. They cleaned them up and painted them all. So and they made that additional space. So it's the third floor, but it's the second floor of the gallery.
Okay, got you.
Is a whole other gallery now.
Well,
So there's like the show, of the inside would not continues up to that floor, and so it makes it a really big show.
feels like it gives you a lot to think about too.
Yeah, but I love the idea that they had that space like that, and they just hadn't used it. The former dealers just like amazed. It's like, whoa, how come I didn't do that?
Sounds like they made the best out of this COVID situation.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, that's really the idea. And a lot of people are coming out and saying this is the first time they've been out going somewhere since last year. Of course, they have this big construction project on Walnut Street.
Oh,
There was like an explosion in the transformer underground, and it's like they've been digging it up for just an entire show, actually, the entire time of the show. So we can't park around it. And then, of course, all the restaurants have those tents set up so they can't park on the street.
Oh, that's right. They have their eating situation out in the street, sort of.
Yeah, I don't even get over near there. I actually park here.
Oh, okay,
And then
okay.
I walk over because, you know, it's like a 10-minute walk.
Right. It's been pretty nice outside for a walk.
Exactly. So it's pretty funny. When you have done construction, you just never know. So you have to warn everybody. I mean, they literally have 16th and Walnut closed off. I've never seen them close those major arteries.
Completely closed off.
Yeah,
Yee. That's a major artery.
major. So it makes 15th and 17th just like complete gridlock.
You.
I have to bring over a larger painting I've reframed. I have to bring it over on Tuesday. And see, I don't even know how I'm going to get there. I'm going to have to walk it for like 3 blocks. Because the 16th is one way. You can't go down to Sansom there. It's all filled with restaurant tents.
Right. Are they completely out in the street?
Yeah.
They take over the
They
entire
took
street?
over the entirety of Sansom.
Oh my God.
It's like an outdoor festival. It's crazy over there. Where do you see it? It's like this whole subtext going on. Got a bunch of sales though, so it's going well.
That's excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we sold like 9 pieces, but there's so many in the show that it doesn't really look like you sold that much because there's so many paintings. But it's good.
How many pieces do you have in the show?
Just like
downstairs?
27, I think.
Okay. Well, that's quite a good amount.
It's a lot of work. Man. And then the group show has another, geez, there's another 25 of those. I mean, there's a lot of work. It's like 50 pieces overall. So it really is, you're gonna have give yourself some time, because you're gonna need some time to get through it. It's not, you know how you go into some shows, you kind of look around and go, okay, I'm done.
Right. Well, we're going to go on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully it's not going to be too crowded around that area. And we'll have a lot, we'll do it leisurely and have a lot of time.
Absolutely. I'll be over there Thursday afternoon, so from there, we'll see.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's my first showing that I've seen in a long time.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Finally bringing people back into the fold.
Yep, that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, I did a couple Zoom walkthroughs
Oh,
with collectors that couldn't come. And they worked great. It's kind of amazing.
you did it on your phone?
I did it on my iPad.
Oh, okay, got you. Nothing's gonna stop you, Doug.
Hey, man, we're trying, right? We're doing technology time. Yeah, I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm sorry, you're not gonna say anything. I know, we figured we could do a live stream. Still might do that.
Is it free when you do that live stream? Or
Yeah,
is it,
it is.
okay. Huh.
Yeah, I might do that on Saturday.
So are you gonna have a closing for the last day?
We are. I just talked to him today about it. Yes, if you want to wait, come on Saturday, you can do that.
well, the only thing is I work Saturday.
Forget about work. Come on, what's more important? Art supersedes that.
Yeah, definitely. How was your break?
It was good because I was so busy with all the stuff with the show, so it was nice. I could do some of that. But it was also good because it wasn't just the 1 week. It was 2 weeks with the schedule different. So the first week there was no Tuesday, Thursday, and the second week there was no Monday, Wednesday.
Okay.
So it became it was an interesting break time.
Is one of those your landscape painting class?
Yeah,
Okay.
Wednesday. Wednesday's the landscape. So we're looking at possibility of rain this Wednesday, which is a little disappointing, but it'll still be pretty warm.
How do you operate in the rain?
We'll have to be, there's a pavilion up by Lemon Hill, so we can go to that. But sometimes, they call for rain and then it doesn't rain much. So you have to be careful. You don't kind of cancel everything and then find out
Right.
there's no
You kind of have to wait and see, like,
Yeah.
here.
I usually let them know like Tuesday night.
Well, yeah, we're heading into the month that's traditionally known for rain.
Yeah. So we'll see.
It's kind of cool that I've noticed a lot of the cherry blossoms and dogwoods are coming.
Yeah,
So,
they're
like,
coming up fast.
Yeah.
Flowers are coming up. The daffodils are all up. Peonies are peeking their heads out. I love when the blossoms come out on Kelly Drive.
Did you start your planning for your garden?
Oh yeah, my wife's got that one. She's obsessed with it. She was taking care of her roses on the weekend and doing all kinds of stuff. And we dig here, dig there. Turkey business.
You let her do that, right?
Well, certain things she's got it all worked out. I don't want to interfere. Yeah, she really loves it. But it's a little early. You could plant some lettuces and all.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing some little starts
Yeah.
from seeds in the house, and then in about a week and a half, I'll be able to put them. I'll have confidence enough to put them outside.
There you go.
Maybe shorter than a week and a half.
You never know, right?
Yeah, the sun is really powerful this year. A lot of the plants are responding well to it so far.
Good. Well, the big news that happened last week was we got our first shot.
Yeah,
So that happened on Tuesday.
that's great that they decided to do that too.
Yeah, they tried to knock us off the list
Oh,
twice when we were there and the night before.
oh no.
We held our ground. Yeah, when we were there, they said, "You're in the wrong zip code. We're 9 miles away."
Did you go to the convention center to get it done?
No, because we couldn't get any. There was a neighborhood church that was doing it through Einstein Hospital. And so they were doing it, so Einstein started to really get tough. So it was a little unsettling. But we got it. All through that.
Good, so you're onto your second shot.
Second will be the 13th.
Okay.
But I also got called from Penn finally the day after I got the shot for my son, saying I was eligible. Called to sign up. They're apparently doing things over at the TLA.
At the TLA?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So I don't know.
They must have just opened that space up for that.
Seems like it. Yeah. So I don't know.
Interesting.
But it's just in the nick of time because I had them in San Antonio in May.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't want to go down there without being vaccinated.
Yeah. How long are you gonna stay?
About 10 days usually.
Okay.
It's a big stay.
Yeah, and I've been hearing that in Texas they're thinking about dropping the wearing of masks.
They've already dropped it.
Oh no!
It's awful down there. Awful.
Couldn't they have waited for just a little bit longer?
Nope. They are a different breed down there.
I don't blame you for wanting to make sure you got the vaccination before you head down.
Yeah, because I don't trust it. And if you're staying in a hotel too, it's just so much exposure possibility. It's just pretty scary.
Yeah.
Got to take a plane to get down there. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and I'm hoping your plane is not crowded. I'm hoping your
Oh,
plane.
it'll be crowded.
Oh, you can. Oh, that's right. You can see what seats you're taking.
It'll be crowded. Let me tell you. You just have to plan for the absolute worst. It'll be after spring break, which will help.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, because that's kind of insane right now.
Ah, that's insane. It's like the problems never happened.
I think people heard that the vaccine had arrived and been approved.
Yeah,
And
right.
I think they thought, oh, it's back, everything's back to normal now.
Right.
And like, it seems like nothing is going to be really back to normal.
No.
It seems, I think they said, no, put the mask back up because they realized there's a whole part of the population that's not getting vaccinated, but once they hear the rules being rolled back, yeah, they go nuts. They really go nuts.
Yeah.
Like I heard that there's been March Madness parties.
Oh, totally.
I just saw footage the other day of folks in Florida, in
Oh,
Miami.
terrible. Scary, right?
Yeah. And how the cops had to sort of bear down on them to get them to, disassemble.
I don't know what's going on. How are we gonna make it?
Try your best to, like you said, prepare for the worst
Absolutely.
and stay vigilant. Wash your hands, wear your mask. If you have to get it like a deluxe mask.
And I've got one deluxe. I'll have to get that. Going down there.
Plus you have glasses, which is kind of cool because
Yeah.
you have a coverage for your eyes.
Right. That's just reading glasses. So you can't walk around with them.
Okay. They seem to be coming out with better masks as we go along.
They are better. The last one I got was much better. CVS had put it out. It was $10, but
Oh.
it's really nice. So we'll see. Scott got his first cut.
Yeah. Yeah, he said it wasn't that bad.
No, it's not.
It wasn't like what they show on television where they have
Yeah,
a
big
10-inch long needle.
No, it's not big. It's not big needle. So you gotta play scared. I wanna be scared. Did you shut that timer?
Yeah, I think, yeah. It should be going off soon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's set till 2:15.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get a clear mask coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's not a fabric
Right.
face mask.
That'd be nice.
I feel like with the fabric mask, it's harder for me to breathe.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I mean, not to complain about it, but I think once you get adjusted to wearing a mask, then you can start to customize
Yeah.
around
You know,
it.
it works for you.
Yeah. They have some pretty cool ones that look kind of futuristic.
There you go. Yeah, they get personalized.
And then that way, you know, when I'm model,
You see the face.
yeah,
That'd be nice.
because I feel like I have a censorship bar over my face.
You do. Well, these will become documents on here and over here.
But we're gonna go see your show on Thursday, and then maybe on Sunday if the art museum is open,
Yeah, it's open Sunday.
we're gonna try for that.
Cool.
But we'll be going to your show before we go to the art museum.
Oh. Well, you see contemporary art before you see the museum?
Yeah.
That's radical talk. You're not going to the Barnes?
No. We're going to the McLeaf Gallery.
Yeah, jeez, that's radical talk.
I mean, it's kind of funny because when I think about the Philadelphia Art Museum, they don't, I've seen most of the works in there,
Right.
you know, in the main museum.
They've redone the entire American Museum.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's open yet, but that's their big blockbuster for the season.
Hmm.
the reinstall. So we're all excited to see that. So definitely it's going to be updated and refreshed.
So that's what they've been, I'm wondering if that's what most galleries did during COVID.
They kind of renovate. Well, this was already in place,
Okay.
and so they used it as an opportunity to really make something happen. It's kind of lucky,
Yeah.
if you could say any of this stuff's lucky.
I'm also kind of curious as to what the landscape looks like over there. Like I haven't been in that back area in what is it, Boathouse Road in a long time.
Yeah, it's about the same, something different. We go down there a lot for class.
Oh, for your landscape painting class?
Yeah. It hasn't changed that much.
So the next pose is going to be the seated pose?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll mix them up.
Okay.
It'll be kind of like wherever you feel like being at the time, that's what you do. You can be the driving force of that.
I feel like having multiple poses makes the class just fly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, because you're always stuck in the similar poses for months on end. God. Deadly. Deadly. You know, that'll just be a few short months before all the students come back.
Oh yeah, well, that'll be happening very soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's time.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna happen really soon. Really soon. Okay, so we will be going on to the seated pose next. That was a nice one, though. That's a good pose. So Clarence, Vanessa, sorry. You flipped, you turned the page, both physically and metaphorically. Sure, sure.
So thinking I want to do like a beach scene, like I want to go observation off the figures. I figure it's more like, put them in a different space and call it a beach thing,
Yes.
so we're not just like, right now, like where we want each figure and higher, that's what I want.
That's an interesting idea because the poses they're taking really could be interpreted in a beach way.
Yeah, so like, sitting on a chair, like.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, right. Yeah. It does actually, but I think you're onto something. I think having that figure in the front is actually pretty good. that can create a interesting enter in like a dialogue. And then I think if you brought that lying down figure closer, so that it becomes like as an intersection of like the midsection of the seated one, and then the one behind it, just the way it is, with a big space between it, that could really work. Yeah. Yeah. I think that kind of works. And you could have a little more space on the right. I don't think you really have to make it square like. It'd be a little easier compositionally to have it more horizontal, especially if you're thinking about that stuff. Yeah. See how it flushes out a little bit. But I like it. It's a good start. It's nice. It's nice. And then bring it to the beach, which is very appropriate. Very appropriate, I think. All right, good. All right, now it's clear. Sorry about the false glare.
No worries. Alright, so I was
Oh yeah, that's good.
just like, trying to like work out the figure. I feel like pretty confident that I'll do mostly working from observation.
Okay.
But I was thinking a lot about how like I have sort of like been wanting to do a lot more like dramatic like pieces, I guess.
Sure. And where do you think that's going? Do you have some ideas that have sort of come to the surface through that?
Kind of. I mean, I had like a lot of ideas that have like come up for like other projects in the last like few weeks. I haven't really had anything that is specifically. But I also think it might probably like automatic learn a little bit longer and take that one to like a year.
I agree. I think if you think about it and then if you use some sketches to kind of support that, so that's a lovely start. You have the figure is expressing itself well, relates to the couch, and it can just be like, what do you enhance in this? Do you bring up color a little bit more? Do you make the patterns a little more dominant? Do you focus in detail one of the figures more than the others? That can be a very strong thematic thing too.
Yeah.
And
just especially because of like the length, I guess that we have to work on this.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like, oh, well, this actually takes a lot. I have a lot more time to really think about like about like a narrative that I'm on characters.
Certainly. Certainly, and that's something that's really kind of fun about it, is it doesn't have to be rushed. You don't have to be in a hurry. You know, and it can have a direction and a change it too. You know? All right, good. Like it. I like it. All right, and now.
Yeah. So, are there some sketches that I kind of switch to like,
Let me see some of the little sketches for a second. Ooh, that's lovely. But let me see little sketches, just to sort of get an idea of where you're thinking.
okay, so like I want to keep the as you see here and figures where they look kind of relationship between them and what the seasons they're in.
Yeah.
Get the whole background and so it's
Put that a little closer to the camera. Oh yeah. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, but so then you'll have the couch kind of centered, and then everything else will kind of be participatory around it. Okay. Oh yeah, and then you have this off to the side. I think that looks good. And then the other one can be much smaller in the back or even cropped off or something. That was the idea of having the model so off to the side like that. Look at the. Yep, I think that's a good idea. And the nice thing about that then is you start to get an idea of what you want large-wise. And should it be more horizontal? Should it be square? Or should it be, you know what? I mean, you know, there's a lot of options like that. And so if you're working off of that centralized figure like that lying down, well then yeah, sure, it's a pretty typical rectangle. But maybe you want to make it a little bit shallower and have that one in the back run off, you know, so therefore, you know, not as much of a rectangle. Maybe you want it to be a little more square and have the seated one run off. So all those things can start to become noticeable that way. But awesome, good stuff. All right, Kate's ready. I see Kate's popped up on the screen. Good. Oh, nice. Yeah, and what's the largest you've ever worn, Kate? Oh, I like that red. I'm liking that red.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm responding to Medusa's red. Look at that red. Nice. Oh my God. Medusa like gets it right on. Medusa gets it right on. Oh my God. That's a real interactive partnership here. Totally. Okay, so what's the largest you've worked? They're so funny. She's like running out of the room. Sorry, hold on. Oh my God, Kate, that's huge. Awesome. Yeah. I like it. I like it. That's like an 18 by 24. That looks good. I like it. So this is what I wanted to think about. I like that. But you can play around with bringing barriers in. You can cut things off. You can visualize them once it's on there. And so you might think about maybe not as high or a little bit longer or a little more square. You know, all those things can be present once you get something on there that can relate it. So that'd be the point. All right? Nice start though. I like it. I like the way you're doing with the big color shapes. So that's good. That's where you want to be. It's all about the spring and the big shoes. Big. It was great. Can you believe we're all going to be in person in September? It's going to be so cool, won't it?
So excited.
But,
And I love the spring. I'm going to get close to everybody.
oh my God, I know, this is the best. And this is such a nice way to start the spring. The way it was warm and sunny, and, you know, it was kind of perfect. It was kind of perfect. It's just what we need. All right, good. All right, so I'll check into it in a little bit, but it's a good start. Really good. Very good.
Wow, so classes will be starting again in September?
You got it. We will be in person, but we will have a mask. So we'll be in person.
Okay.
Unless, of course, the variants take hold. Well, that goes crazy, but I don't see that right now.
Well, it gives me hope. Gives me hope.
for the new improved.
And then I figured I could just keep everything here in the locker in the classroom. Yeah, because nobody's really going in there.
They have it?
No,
Yeah, I think so.
just me.
Someone came in at one point, but I don't know, some student. They didn't follow me. Yeah, it's just, you see, that's the other, we're both in sports.
I know, right?
We're not gonna do it with that.
So I wonder if that means in September people will have to take that survey before they come in. They'll have to remember to defit.
Probably. Yeah, probably, it's sort of a challenge for some. Still don't know how it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's right, because he doesn't have a cell phone. So he must do it from home. Yeah.
What if it forgets? I forgot to sort it.
Yeah, but luckily you have a
I
phone.
know, so I had to do it. I had to do it, pull the car over and do it, because I forgot.
Right.
So, shoot.
I mean, even if you needed to do it in the lobby, you could do it in the lobby and then go through the checkpoints.
You could. There's no question about that.
But if you don't have a pocket computer, if you don't have a pocket computer, I don't know.
Dude, it's like torture.
Could you run over to, would you have time to run over to the free library?
I know. I guess you go to the fifth floor.
The fifth floor?
Yeah, because they.
Well, that's if they have to let you pass the checkpoints.
Yeah. It's a challenge. Telling me it's a challenge.
I'm so used to my cell phone that I wouldn't have thought about that being a challenge. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I take it for granted.
Yeah. Still saying 70% rate on Wednesday. Shoot.
What time is your class from until?
All today.
Oh, okay.
7:42, 5:55. What are you gonna do?
Paint under a tenant?
It
Does that work?
does.
It's probably kind of cool too, to paint in the rain, depending upon what kind of rain you're having, because it changes the optics of things.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. You can go with that. Yeah, it's really kind of what we can do. Banging the drums.
Do you have a favorite room of the art museum?
Well, it was an American wing, but it's all changed now.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of, it kind of depends on the mood. Sometimes I like being over the contemporary. Sometimes I like that little room of British landscapes up on the second floor.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sometimes I like that one in the American wing that's in far back where the Aikens is.
Uh-huh. Huh. The thing that blows me away about those landscape paintings, some of them are small. Some of them
Oh, God.
are so tiny.
Yeah. Little things on paper.
There's so much detail.
So much jewels.
Yeah.
Yeah, the use of black too, amazing. Like that one that's of the river and then has the what's it, sunset, black, silhouetted
Yeah.
trees. What about you?
My favorite room is, I don't know why, but I'm always attracted to that space where there's the Picasso with the mother,
Oh, yeah,
the mother and the child
That's a great one.
painting.
That's a
Yeah,
great one.
it blows me away every time I look at it because the color palette is not one
Yeah,
I would have chosen. Or
yeah.
it's not, is it Picasso? No, I think it's Van Gogh.
It's the Van Gogh.
It's the Van Gogh, yeah.
That little room, yeah.
Those colors are just, there's something else just to think about, you know?
Yeah.
Palette.
Yeah, it's a really fun museum because there's so many spaces that surprise you. It's not static.
I mean, I even like the room with the armor for the horses.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people like that one. That's a good one. I haven't been back there in a year.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Do you miss it?
Yeah. I keep thinking when to go back, but I haven't been.
if they've changed some things and renovated some spaces there.
Yeah, that's what I'm sort of thinking now. Wait till that. You know,
I really want to go to the Met, but I'm not willing to expose myself to a whole bunch of
I'm
people.
not going to New York.
Huh?
Exactly. I'm not going to New York.
You used to forget about it.
I'm not all excited about that.
If I can't get to New York, I'll be happy with the Rodin Museum opening up. So I can
See, there you
go
go.
there.
Yeah, what's up with them not closing that thing down?
Oh, they're still closed?
Yeah.
The last time I tried to go there, I think they were doing renovations.
Ah, I don't think it's doing renovation. I guess they didn't need to have staff members.
Yeah, I tried to go there one day, and then I ended up going to the Barnes because the Rodin's closed.
Yeah, Barnes is always my last choice.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too, for some reason.
It's got some bad juju in it. It makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It's expensive.
it's expensive, and it's also the story of how it got to Philadelphia, like how it got to
Yeah.
that particular museum space, kind of.
The whole thing just kind of smells.
Yeah. And I think I like the idea of the way that the art is organized in some of the rooms,
Yeah.
but some of the other rooms it feels a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking to wait through way too many windows at one time that are
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
jam packed right next to one another. It can be overwhelming.
I also don't like the way it highlights the impressionists.
Okay. Huh.
It's just, it kind of made its point years ago. I'm just not sure how relevant it is now.
Yeah.
Where's the other one?
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of going into like an antique shop
Yeah.
in a way.
It's not so confused. They do this really weird membership. Every other museum, you become members, you have unlimited access.
Yeah.
That one they limit. They
What?
limit. Yeah.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
That's
They really want you to not be members, but part of their cult. They want you to take those classes.
Oh.
Part of the whole thing. That's where the push is.
I would think that they would want, especially instructors and teachers, to come through.
No, they don't want us to come to because we're not teaching the Barnes method.
The Barnes method.
It's true.
That's terrible.
I know. But that doesn't really get me too enthused.
It's like they miss the whole spirit of what art is and what being an artist is about.
Oh, they don't care about artists. They care about Dr. Barnes and Violet D'Amelio and all those crazy people.
And the admission fees.
Oh, steep. Yes, it's the only museum I don't belong to. Belong to all the other ones, not that one.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Well, I feel more comfortable going next door
Yeah.
to the Academies Museum than
I want to go into a grocery store or something.
That's funny, but it's true. make a statement though about how the folks that run that establishment might actually view art?
Mike, what?
How those folks from that particular establishment might view art? Doesn't that show the
Yeah,
way that the art
I
is
think that's
displayed?
part of what they're getting at, but at a certain point, who cares?
Right.
Like I said, it's mostly about Dr. Barnes and Violet DiMaggio and the rest of the cast of characters. You didn't even care about the art after a while, you just care about how they want you to interact with it. And besides, he took all that beautiful furniture and stripped it of its,
Oh
yeah, that was done, because that's what people did then, is they finished them. So they have all these beautiful early American Pennsylvania furniture all stripped of its
no! Oh, it's so
original.
sad. It's almost like they didn't know what they had.
Yeah, they're just working with the conventions of the day.
Ugh.
But years ago, I took a group out to the Marion Museum,
Yeah.
and I brought a bus, big group, and they had this rule there that the buses had to drop people off and then go away because neighbors didn't like the idling buses.
Okay.
Well, my bus driver didn't leave, and so they were causing a real fit. They were so mad. Neighbors were calling them.
Call this scene.
It's pretty fun.
Oh no. It looks like there's one more minute on the timer. Well, on the clock. I had to reset the timer and
I bet you did.
I reset it incorrectly, so
He reset it in some funky way.
sometimes that happens with the phone.
Yeah.
You think some things are so automatic and you don't go back and check to make sure that you put in what you meant to put in.
Happens to Scott all the time. I like the way that you just went to the Barnes by default. It wasn't a destination.
No, it wasn't on my priority list.
See, I like that. That makes me happy.
We were so sad though that the Rodin wasn't open.
Yeah. That's a great museum. It's fun. Those are all casts made after he had died, though.
Oh, they're not actually the original pieces.
Well, no sculptures are really the original because they're all cast from usually something done in clay. But there's a difference between pieces that were cast in a lifetime versus afterwards. And the guy who paid for that museum paid to have them all cast.
Okay.
So they were all,
That's interesting.
yeah. Jules Mastonball. That's name.
Yeah, because Rodin is French, right?
It's
His
French,
origin.
yeah.
So I'm assuming in France, they have a Rodin museum of their own.
They do. Yeah, it's this old studio.
Wow, that's spectacular.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a old hotel he bought. And it's got grounds. There's sculptures outside.
Oh,
And then it's got, and you walk in and the first thing you see is a Greek sculpture of two figures sitting on a bench, and that was part of his collection. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you gotta go see it.
Yeah, it sounds cool to have the sculptures interacting with the nature and the natural environment outside of the space, outside of it.
It's just space, yeah. No Violet DiMaggio and Albert Barnes telling you how to look at it. You're not allowed to see it this way. You're breaking the rules. There's a show there now with Soutine and Bikuni.
Huh.
So everybody's all excited about that. So that might be a reason to go, but I haven't
To the
watched
Barnes?
over there.
Oh. I don't know. I appreciate the new shows that pop up there, but I just I don't know why, I just don't have, I don't have the want to really go there.
Yeah.
I think one of the things about the Barnes that kind of bothers me is the rooms are so small
Yeah.
that in this day and age, you probably wouldn't want to go.
No.
Unless they limited, they made sure to be very careful about limiting the people that attend.
Yeah, they must, but who knows? Here's the Barnes, you never know.
I like the art museum because you can actually step back from pieces without stepping onto some other person.
Yeah, that's true. You don't collide.
Right.
No collision course. You're so worried about that time.
No, I had to make sure.
It's the time.
Yeah, because we still have another pose to fit in.
Yes, we do. What time is it?
It's 2:50 now.
Oh my God!
So, and I think it was supposed to stop at 2:42, but I gave extra time to that
Thank
pose.
you.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
All right, I'll take a 5-minute break and then I'll be right back.
6 minutes!
Oh,
Don't
6 minutes.
shortchange your
Oh, 6
time.
minutes, my bad. I used the extra minute to get ready and get up on a model stand.
Trying to do extras.
Too busy?
Um,
Or you need a second? Okay.
Nice color.
What if I elevate it to up here? Or maybe
We're
shorter?
gonna get the same.
Okay.
We've tried to do this stuff with it before, it's different every time.
Would I be able
Let's
to?
try to make crazy.
Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe if you have it wrapped around your head or something.
That's what I was gonna say.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that's good. Like that. Perfect. Oh.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, this will be easy to tie back to.
I like the against that kind of check. So,
Cool.
interesting.
Okay.
Different.
We're gonna take this in.
Some different. That can hang down.
It can be hanging down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
All right.
Why not?
That works. That's right, it's like this, it's like.
Why not? Trying to get away. Let me see what that was there. I don't remember it so long ago. Yeah, you went on to the left. Yeah, nice. Nice. All right, Grace.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Who used to say that? Who used to say, hey, hey, hey? Do you remember who said that in this one?
Who's just
Yeah.
Fat Albert?
Yeah, yeah, it was fat. Yes, it was. That's funny. Fat Albert. It was actually, wasn't it the comedian that got arrested from Cosby? Yeah, it was so Cosby. He used to play this character. Oh my God. That's so funny. So Cosby. Oh man. Yeah. That's such a shit. Spokesman for Temple. So how's it going?
So, obviously, I was looking on the scale of whatever that's way too slick, so I think that's a way a couple times, and just kind of now waiting the feelings for it.
Okay, that sounds good. So, what kind of gesso did you use?
I just use acrylic gesso because,
What kind of brand?
it's just like good.
Is it? So make sure you sand it a little bit because that's going to have a real non-absorbency to it. If you just sand it a little bit, it'll make it so that the paint will attach to it a little better.
Sand?
Just a little sandpaper, but not so much that you make it smooth again. But if you have like I don't know, like 120 grit or something, and just run it over it, just so you open it up a little bit. Remember we did that with those clay surfaces you worked on, when you were in the life class a year ago? You had a really sick surface.
I did sand it a little bit because I remember that and I was like, that would work really well.
Cool. Good. Because I don't want you to run into the same problem again.
Exactly. I know.
Yeah, that'd be such a shame. It's so disheartening. You're getting all this paint going, you're excited, and the thing's slipping around like you're on an ice skating rink. Can't get any layers on. That could be a disaster. So good. All right. So good. We'll keep going on it then, and let's see what happens. But I think that's all part of the reason why we have these longer poses and longer things, so that something like that can happen and it's not a big disaster.
Exactly.
So it's just all part of the mix. It's all part of what we do. All right. Good. All right. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going out there? I know it's colleague. It's nice out there today. Are you, yeah, let's see what you're working on. Cool. The light looks good now. Yeah, I can. Yeah, it looks good. Oh, that looks great, Holly. Really nice. Yeah, I like the. Yeah, why don't you do that? I think that'd be fun. Where are you? Oh, yeah, I know where that is. Great. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think you really captured it. I think the best part of this is the way that you've sequenced from this foreground with that bench and that walkway to the skate area with the people skating, and then that middle distance with the tree line, and then your far distance with the cityscape. So the only thing I would say and ask you, since you have really all those components in there, where do you want us to look first?
Well, the thing is that I want to, I don't want to submit this for the waterfront side, so I think what I want to do is have it really meander towards the water so that your island and leads to that spot. And
You see the waterfront? Oh, yeah, really.
The water, so like I really somehow.
You could pull a Larry. You could pull a Larry Rivers in right on their waterfront. Did you ever see those, the Larry Rivers paintings? He used to label it right on the painting. I think that's an interesting idea because it's not your typical waterfront. Yeah.
I feel like the reason why I thought it was like good was that like the waterfront has like a place.
Yeah.
Like the water.
Yeah.
Like it's like things happen here.
Yeah.
Things happen. I don't know. But yeah, I guess so I'm planning to work on
So let me backtrack a little bit. So that means then where you normally would have probably your focus with the skateboarders, you're going to have a secondary focus of the waterfront so it fits that theme.
yeah, like the idea to get enough like rhythm that
Yeah.
really like use
Yeah.
like like it all into that.
I think that's good. And your main participant here that's in the dark now, kind of like a shadow of the skateboarder, running the skateboard across that ridge. That looks good. And I think it provides then a scale reference that you can move everything else into. And then you have the tree lines in there. You don't have to overplay that idea of the waterfront, but if you just keep it open and characteristic of that little space that's there, that might make a difference. The other thing you could think about is the skyline could have a little bit more design in it. Right now the rhythms between things are a little equal, like your spaces. And if a couple of those buildings overlapped more, it became more of a tonal completeness, that might work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that angled building that's over there on, Penn's, the edge of Penn's campus. If that was as isolated feeling as it is when you see the image behind you, that might make an interesting dynamic.
Wait, what?
That building that's just peeking up on the left over your canvas. What is that center called? The Sears Center? Yeah. Yeah, you might want to squeeze that in just off center there to right above where the waterfront is. That might be interesting. I know. That's what I'm saying is I think your scale is so similar. Yeah, your scale is so similar. Yeah. I think that would actually help it. And then everything else would be a little more compressed and closer to that horizon. So you get some of the skaters coming over looking at what you're doing? They're not coming over saying, take me. Oh my God, Polly, it looks like it's supposed to rain on Wednesday. Can you believe it after all this beautiful weather? Yeah. So we're going to have to go up to that pavilion behind Lemon Hill. It's just near where you and Henry are painting. It was off in the distance, off to the right. There's a big pavilion. Well, it's raining, but at least, it might not the whole time. And, we can't work around that. But hey, that's the season, it's kind of risky that way. So you get these beautiful days and then you get this rain settled in. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. I'll let you guys know for sure on Tuesday afternoon. I'll make the final call then. But I just checked it and there's 70% chance of rain. So that's good. Yes.
It's like this grass.
Yeah.
Kind of like but I don't know for sure how it should sit like with,
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yes, it does.
But that really has dark.
It should be a little darker anyway. It would be a good idea if it was darker anyway, because that would separate it from that very light area of the walkway. Yeah, I think it is a little darker value-wise anyway, even though a lot of lights in there. And that would make it part of that plane. It would make it part of that structure, which would be a good thing. And then your whole skate park, and then that middle distance where you want your energies to be will be light show, and your eye will just kind of skip over that foreground and go right into that.
There's something really crazy about the cement, like from forward to back, it really doesn't change color.
No. So you have to make it change anyway. Yeah, you kind of have to force that. Yeah.
Like it's not what I'm not really feeling connection to being wishy-washy about it.
It really needs to be lighter. Yeah, it can be lighter.
I had it lighter, and it was like, they felt like these things so light.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be a little lighter. It'd be a little akin to the light that's on top of that rise that's behind the skateboarder. So that way you can have the plane as it goes back. You can also make it warmer because you have all those cools back there, and that would also separate it. Warm it. All right, looks good. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'll look for my message on Tuesday. Okay, all right, bye. Well, it's rather plankton today, isn't it? Plank. If you need to put your arm down periodically, go ahead. Because I know it can get a little numb.
visitors this time.
That's it?
20.
20 minutes. 20 minutes. Holy moly. What do you do? How can we make it through another day?
I can't believe that this class goes so fast.
Doesn't just drag my scotch.
Well, it's funny because this semester I had you for 3 hours. I had
Right.
your class for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But I had your class last.
For
last
6?
time. Yeah, for 6, and now it's switched around.
Yeah, right. So 6 starts to seem long. All
No.
that banging, you gotta beat a headache at the end.
No, 6, I mean, when I was modeling with your class for 6, it went fast.
Yeah.
It went really fast. I mean, I couldn't believe that I had almost been here for an entire day.
I know. Yeah, I was hoping they'd turn that one into one of the 6-hour classes they made, but they didn't.
Okay. Hopefully what is it, what's the next semester you'll be teaching?
I'll be teaching in landscape all day. I'll teach one figure class. It's a 1.5
Okay.
on Tuesday. So hopefully it'll be enough of that.
Well, I guess, will you be teaching in the summer?
No, I'm teaching all the time.
No, never did.
I used to.
Right.
That was killer though.
I bet.
Man, that was tough.
Because it's almost like you don't get much of a break.
You don't get any break, and those classes are very challenging. Very challenging. So we don't do those summers anymore.
I hear you. You guys take it easy with yourself.
Yeah, we do other stuff. Gotta get in the studio, got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you got your own work to do.
Got my homework, got sculpture conservation, got a lot of stuff going.
It never ends.
Gotta head up to Maine,
Oh.
gotta shake the
excellent.
shackles of this area, get some fresh air.
Yeah. Be near the sea.
Yeah. You'll see why when you see the show. You'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited. Really excited.
You'll see why. It's like, what the hell is this guy living in Philadelphia for? What's the drama? Maybe some Barnes.
I'll be right back.
We're gonna go pick it up Barnes one day. Pick it up Barnes. Yeah, pick it. Pick it up Barnes. All right, Vanessa, let's see what you come together with all these cool poses. Geez, it's really a lot to kind of digest, isn't it?
See that or someone down there?
No, I can see it. That looks good. Yeah, that's getting it. I'll tell you what, though. There's a couple things. One is let's extend the lying down figure a little beyond the standing one, so those legs don't end right at the same point. So either you show the back of the leg or the bend of it or something like that. And then with the foreground, you want to give us a little more space there because you want everything to run off, the chairs, the feet, and everything.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna break this up, but just with the sketch,
No. But the positioning of everything and the overlap looks great. Looks really good.
the paper again is square because I have something before.
Yeah.
So now I don't
No, and you can use it. I think that works as long as you don't make that horizon any lower. Because if you do, that'll be closer to the center, and you don't want that.
Yeah, I want it higher, which doesn't make sense of beyond
Right.
additional where the labor is with the figure, so, yeah, kind of like right here. So
That looks good. And you know, you've got the reflection of your light in it right now, so it's kind of interesting because it's like the sun.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really got it. But no, I think this looks out great. And you can get really a little bit more light fill because when they're outside like that on the beach, there's such strong contrasting light. Yeah, so you can really build that. And I like the pose of the standing figure. It really becomes like a beach pose, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was kind of like, I kind of did see the people just throwing in a wall or something.
Right. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Like going back from right. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, because you know, I think it'd look a little awkward if she's posing like that, but that could make a statement in itself too. You know, because that's what beach is sort of become. Yeah, they're just kind of posing, you know, hanging out. It's kind of a funny environment. Like real, but not real. Yeah. But then it makes you question this of what is real. We're beginning to wonder that every day more and more. But beach time. No, no. Very soon. Very soon. That'd be fun. All right, good. All right, good start though. I like it. All right, Claire, what have you been coming up with? Have you just done separate elements? Or you joined
I
some?
kind of have it all, like, together.
We get that. Yeah, bring it back a little bit because I'm seeing just the top. Oh yeah, right. That does come together. Hey, you know, it's a little bit like that Three Graces one I showed. Because of the way that they're all lined up, you don't have the one of the standing figure in the background. You have it kind of akin to the couch. I like it. And so it makes like a U-shaped composition. Bring it up just a little bit more so I can see the bottom of it. If you bring the paper up. Okay, so you are fitting the feet in there, yeah. Yeah, it looks good. And then you have some chorus. Yeah, I think it looks good. I think the only downside of it would be that you've got this figure seated running off, and then you've got the lamp and that little table running off. So you might move that lamp in front of the figure more, so it doesn't just cradle right at that one spot. But that'd be my only thought. That'd be my only thought. That there might be an interesting tension in there between the lamp and the figure. A little bit more natural in a sense, you know, as you see it, you know?
Yeah.
Good. All right, good start though. Really looks great. Nice. All right. All right, Anna. I mean, all kinds of mask issues today. Oh wait, I gotta get off of this for sure. I'm on a presentation for some reason. Shoot. Let's escape. Let me get this off. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So, okay, so you've got the figure nicely large in the foreground, and then you've got that nice lying down figure. So it looks good. I think it looks really good. Now, the one in the back, I think you'd have to make it significantly smaller to actually fit in there. Yeah. Or move it towards the foreground a little bit.
So, are my legs right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, say it again, and I didn't hear that. Oh, I see what you mean. Like really having the foreground. That could be interesting.
Yeah, I think play that out, see what happens. The only problem might be is that it could just look like you've lost a whole quarter of the painting because it'll just block that off like that. But give it a shot, see if it does that. Because right now there's a nice dialogue between them, and so they're zigzagging, and you want to encourage that a little bit. But right now the horizon is almost at the eye level, so you might want to move that up a little bit or move it down. And if you move it down, then there might be more reason for that figure to be cropped like that. But definitely play that out, see what happens. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good start though. Strong. Okay. Sure. See you with it. Okay. Kate. Kate, are you there? Good. How's it going?
So I just walked in.
Yeah, you got a lot in there. Look at that go. I think that looks nice.
Yeah, so I'll take this a little bit further and then probably make it bigger.
And make it bigger. Yeah, and I think compositionally it fits nicely. Everything has its component nature. This figure that's on the seated chair it definitely comes forward. The one that's standing goes back. The only thing you'd want to do when you do the larger one is just make that figure lying down a little bit larger and make that couch a little larger. And the best way to make it larger would be to move the side that's towards the seated one over, and then that could overlap a little bit, and then the one that's next to it can be separated, and then they'll have that space in there. All right, but other than that, it's grand though. Feels good though, right?
Yeah, but I
Good.
love green.
Good. Yeah, I think it's really fun. These are awesome colors. Of course, Producer does everything right, so you don't have to worry. You just never have to worry when you do so. Sometimes you're nail biting, going, oh, I don't know if they can do it. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? You just don't have to worry. All right, sounds good. All right, do a little bit more. We've got, I guess this, what do you think? Is this our last pose, Medusa?
I believe so.
Oh my God, it's the last pose. Medusa made the mark. So we'll get that covered. All right, you see we're goofing around a lot here. It's all the creaking that's happening in the skylights. You ever see some mask problem? I'm like slipping on my, it's like I'm a construction guy. Well, I got my mask on, it's fine. I don't know what your problem is.
Does Banana spark a lot?
No, hardly at all.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Hardly at all.
Huh.
Growls.
Okay.
Yeah, not much of a barker. When he barks, it's pretty funny actually. It's funny. He's gonna be 6 this year.
What? Oh my goodness.
I know.
When did your daughter get Bananas?
When he was 1.
Wow. So it's like basically like her first child, like almost like her first child.
Totally.
Her fur baby.
Yeah. Yeah, no question about that. But also, he's tracked her experience from college to young adulthood.
Wow. Yeah, they're bonded.
Yeah.
And you're bonded to Bananas.
Oh, yeah. He's a good guy. You would be too. You'd like him. You'd like him. It's funny because he thinks he's big, but he's this little tiny thing.
You're talking about his little legs.
He's got these spindly little hands. He thinks he's so tough and big.
dog with a big personality.
Oh, God. Hey, he's a survivor, what can I tell you? He was left for whatever happened in the shelter there, and he's saved. Not too many of his brothers and sisters were.
Oh. Did you ever have a dog?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that. So it's a nice thing to have.
Have you always had an animal or a companion?
Yeah, we've had that animal. We haven't had one since our rabbit died. So we just we wanted another dog, but it's hard. I'm not going to be around. So you know, it's okay during this whole lockdown, but
Right.
it's not going to last forever.
So you wouldn't want a puppy?
No, no puppies. They're cute, man. And no, what's your friend have a raccoon?
Yeah, he has a raccoon. She's nothing but trouble.
Not that. That's a challenge.
She's the sweetest when she's sleeping.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
But she's very intelligent. She's very smart.
Oh yeah, very smart. Doesn't use their hands.
And even
Still
though
eating grapes?
what'd you say?
Still eating grapes?
Stealing grapes?
I'm still eating grapes and avocado, right?
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny because she's changed it up. She likes mealworms right now.
Oh, how about that?
And she doesn't so much like the grapes, but she does like the stalks of broccoli.
Oh, good.
Not the tops of the broccoli, but the stalks.
Oh.
And she likes chicken.
Yeah, they say they like chicken. Like chicken.
But a couple of nights ago, she tried to yank the blankets off of me. She was intent on what she knew what she was doing. It was not by mistake that she was engaging with me this way. I was trying to stop her from eating the dirt out of the pots, and so
Pulls the blanket right off. They're smart, those things.
yeah, very smart. It's kind of scary. 'Cause
I'd be a little scared.
I don't know where it's gonna go from here. You know.
I'd be a little scared.
But she has a cage that she can go to and be put in, and sometimes she'll, without anybody putting her in there, she'll go and sit in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Her spot.
Especially if she knows she's doing something she shouldn't be. She can hear you coming up the steps, and she goes and sits in the cage and folds her hands.
Just waiting. Oh my God. What's her name?
Misty.
Does she know her name?
Does she what?
Does she know her name?
Does she? Oh no, she doesn't acknowledge it really.
Do you walk her on a leash?
No, but my friend has almost like one of those baby carriers,
Oh, really?
and he puts her on the front of like his chest.
Oh, man.
Sometimes they go out for midnight walks.
Must create a stir.
I had to tell him yesterday because he hasn't looked into. He took her to get veterinarian services one time through his brother
Yeah.
at some place out in Jersey.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said he should look at where he can get help for her if she needs it closer
Sure.
to the city.
Uh-huh.
So I started looking around and I noticed University of Penn has a vet center.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're probably the only one that would take an exotic animal like that.
Yeah.
We used to have to bring our rabbit over there. If it's just a regular visit, it's not. Boy, you have problems. Jeez. And they like to do pretty extreme treatment, so you have to stop them.
Right. And my friend, I think he should decide whether he's going to get her fixed or not.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that should be a thing that happens.
That takes some responsibility because that thing put it through tremendous torture. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Like I told them, I said, I don't have veterinarian, knowledge. So if something happened where she swallowed something she wasn't supposed to, or she got hurt, I wouldn't be able to really do very much,
Nope. It puts a lot of pressure on this.
Yeah. And also with raccoons, you have to make sure they're at a certain level of health.
Yeah.
Because they can tend to have parasites.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course. Wild animals, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But it's interesting because I was looking at what states you could have a raccoon, like you could have a raccoon as a pet. And Pennsylvania is one of them.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
And it seems like
What about a squirrel? Can you have a squirrel?
people are doing that too. I don't know
Because it's some of the 19th century paintings they have squirrels.
if really.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, there's one that's this Boston painter, John Sidney Copley. He has a painting of a squirrel on a roof. And this boy and a squirrel.
I mean, I feel like sometimes certain creatures in nature just choose you,
Oh, of course. It makes sense. Yeah, but that was going to see it. They probably go for Misty. It's really true. I mean, you can sail along just fine. And so you know there's a crisis, you have to be able to deal with it.
Are you into cats? No.
Don't tell them. You know, it seems like you're either a cat person or a dog person.
Okay. I'm a bit of both, but then I'm also a raccoon person too. So.
Yeah. I could see the raccoon, but that would scare me a little bit. I'm not trusted.
One of these days I'll bring some video in.
Yeah,
and
sure.
show you.
I think it'd be great for her. That'd be fun. We're gonna get carried, please. You can have that John Horn maybe if you want to do it for everyone. Probably.
Sorry, what did you say?
John Horn might want her brought in for animal drawing.
Oh, huh. That's interesting. He has animals for the class,
Yeah.
like animal studies.
Yep.
Is he one of the folks that does the horse
Yep.
study? Okay. I don't know that she would stay still enough.
Yeah, probably not, but
Like if it was at night, or no, if it was, well, maybe in the daytime, because she's
nocturnal. Right?
she sleeps in the day, and she gets up at like anywhere between midnight and 2 o'clock.
Wow, that's convenient.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's convenient.
So maybe it would be possible, but she'll just be sweet, so she'll be a little on the limp side.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing.
The squirrels are very friendly though in the city.
Yeah, yeah.
I can see how people have pet squirrels.
But again, I don't know if I'd trust them. But hey, who's to judge, right?
Right.
Who's to judge?
Did your daughter get the vaccine yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
She's not worried. She's gallivanting all over the place.
She's like, she's invincible.
Yeah. It's slightly concerning. I think most people will be getting it pretty soon.
I'm surprised her job doesn't require.
I think that should be part of it. She's got to meet with people. It puts her in the frontline status. I don't know. That's time.
It's time.
Oh my God. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, that's a great start. Yeah, that's it, 50. All right, folks, that is it. Good job, good start, and we will continue on this next class. But I think everybody's got a good good go. Oh, we're actually outside now. Nice. Is it warm?
Yeah, great. I mean,
Oh, nice. Well, good. Enjoy it. So yeah, think about whether you want to transfer to something larger, and think about the scale of it, and we'll start to put that in place next week. All right, good. So have a good week, and we'll see you next class. Okay, bye. Bye. All right, here we go. Time to head outside.
Yes.
I'm gonna go check to see if my paint's dry enough.
Oh.
Got delivered to tomorrow, so gotta get some varnish on it now.
See, the adventure never ends for you, Doug.
I know. I got it's got a lot of white in it, so it takes a little longer to dry.
Okay. Huh. That's interesting.
And it's bigger, so it's we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Absolutely. Thank you too. Good start. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
And you hear all about tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
Wow. So say hi to Scott for me.
Definitely will. Definitely will. I'll turn this heater on too.
Okay, thank you.